Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Jason with JR Custom Designs. This video is I've been seeing a lot of stuff on several different pages. Um, this video is going to be about my opinion of things you need to know before you buy the Boss Laser. There's been a lot of issues with people buying them and kind of being dissatisfied or not fully understanding, and when I first bought mine, I was the same way, but fortunately enough I asked the right questions, so hopefully this helps just kind of give you my opinion on what you should know before buying them. Now, I've got two lasers. I've got the 3655, which is sitting right here, and the FM20 that's sitting right in front of me. I use both of them a lot. And don't get me wrong, Boss Lasers, they're good lasers, their tech support and their customer service is awesome. But with that being said, when you're purchasing a Boss Laser, now I'm not trying to take anything away from what they do. That's just what they do. It's their business. This is just my opinion. Now, when you're buying a Boss Laser, especially the 14 series, and I believe the 16 series as well, is the air system that comes with it. It usually comes with the gold. I think now that you can actually upgrade to the California Air, which is a substantial upgrade from the gold compressor. Stock comes with the gold compressor, and the gold compressors are junk. They're garbage. I had the misfortune of actually seeing one with one of the guys in the group here. He lives close to me. He's actually a buddy of mine from the Navy that's still serving, and I helped him out with his. Went over to his house and helped him with his. And the gold laser, or the gold pump, it provides constant pressure to the head. You can adjust the pressure at the head with the needle valve. Now, that compressor gets hotter than crap, especially if you're trying to cut or do anything like that, or a long project. And it's a diaphragm pump, and when using it, I noticed a bunch of black stuff being spit out on the product that we were working with, and took the lens apart and the tubes apart, and it's just full of rubbery black chunks stuck to the lens and stuck inside the housing and everything, which is not good. I would recommend, for the smaller lasers, the California Air is a good option. I would shop around for one, because you can find one for a good price, and that'll be sufficient for the smaller lasers. Now, you get into the bigger lasers like the 2436 and the 3655, or the 2440, I think it is, they have now. You're going to want a bigger compressor, because you're going to be doing bigger jobs. You're going to work. They come with a California Air. I think it's an 8-gallon pump. However, they're not really designed for a continuous run, and they can overheat. They can get damaged. I personally use the Cobalt Quiet 26, or Quiet Tech 26. It's like $300 at Lowe's. Sometimes on sale. I actually got it for $239 around Christmas time, I think it was. So you can get them for a deal, and you can definitely get them for cheaper than you could probably get it with the laser system. And I've worked mine to death, and it's still pumping out just as good as it was brand new. Never had any problems with it. When I first got it, it had a lot of water, condensate buildup, but as I've used it, I don't know if it's a break-in period or whatever, or something, but anyways, the condensation has actually died down. It's not as bad as it was. So I haven't had any issues with that as far as overheating or getting a lot of water or condensate in the lines. Now, You can use whatever you want for yours. That's just my recommendation. I'd recommend getting at least a 2-stage air water separator, particulate separator, and that helps separate the water from the air as well as any kind of debris that might come from the pump. That way it doesn't go into your head. Now, and you can get those off at Amazon. I think the one I have is Pneumatic Pro. It's the PFF13-N02. It's a complete setup. It's got two stages and what they call a third stage, but it's really just the regulator. But it works really well. I haven't had any issues, and it's quick and easy to drain. You can also get the one that's upgradable, or the upgraded one, which automatically drains. You just hook a hose to it, and it purges itself when it fills up. So I think that covers the air, in my opinion. Oh, and also, if you do upgrade your pump, you can get with Boss to find out what solenoid valve you need. I don't know if it's a 12 or 24 volt off the top of my head. You'd have to check with them. But when you get the solenoid, you can call Boss up, and they'll walk you through how to set it up to where it'll function just as the bigger machines do from the get-go from the factory. So that might be a route you want to take if you upgrade. That way you can control your air better and not have your pump running continuously. Any questions about anything I'm talking about? Like I said, this is just my opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. I guess I feel obligated because there's a lot of people having concerns or questions about why what they're getting is not sufficient to run. Like we had a loaded question the other day about basically everything that the Boss machine came with, and I kind of gave him my input, and I know that opinion is not just mine. It's shared by many people, and there's been many people have the questions. So anyways, so with the air system or any of the stuff I'm talking about, please feel free to leave a comment. Tag me in the comment, that way I can respond back, because sometimes I don't get notifications when they come through. The next thing I want to talk about is the chiller, or the chiller. Okay, now the stock system comes with a CW3000, and the CW3000 is a glorified water pump. Is what it really boils down to. It is not a chiller in any way, shape, or form. Basically, you look at it as a radiator for your car. The radiator for your car takes ambient air in, cools the water down, and the water goes into your engine. Well, this chiller does exactly the same thing. It pulls ambient air from outside the room into the chiller, or into the chiller, and cools the water and sends it to the laser. Now, the temperature of your water and the efficiency of the water pump, I'll call it, because I don't really consider it a chiller. I think that's a false representation. But the efficiency of that, as far as cooling down the water going to your laser, is as good as the temperature in the room that you're working. Okay, some people on here have said that they just keep their temperature at 68 degrees and the water stays fine. You know, that you can do that as well. My shop is a metal building. It's fully insulated, spray foam, all that stuff. It's heated and AC, dehumidified. I mean, everything. And that's what conditions I'm in. But I still have the CW5000. You can also get the CW5200, which are both actually chillers, and you can control the temperature that you want the water to be at to maintain the laser. I think I set mine at 20 degrees C on demand. I don't have it run continuous. I have it on demand, and I think my laser, even on a long cut job, I don't think I'll get above 68, maybe push 70 here and there. But for the most part, it stays around 65 to 68 degrees at full operating temperature. So with that, you can get a CW 5000 for about $500-600 off Amazon or eBay. You can also get it through Boss when you order the laser. That's up to you what you want to do. If you buy it through Boss, obviously it's covered under the warranty for however long you do your warranty. If you don't get it from Boss and you get it from Amazon or eBay or whatever, you're taking your chances. But I think it's a chance worth taking just to save $400. Please don't be misinformed when they say CW 3000 chiller that it comes with, because it's a fallacy, and it's not going to perform, especially on your bigger machines like mine. I got the 150 watt laser tube, which automatically upgraded to the CW 5000 chiller. Anything below that, you get the 3000. Well, I mean, on a big machine like this, and you're doing 5, 6, 8 hour, 10-hour job between engraving and cutting, that water pump system is not going to be able to keep up with the demand the demand for lower temperatures on your water. And you can run into issues with the alarm going off, or it triggering the laser not to fire because it's overheating, and it could ruin your project you're working on, or what have you. Now, let's see, what was the other question? So you got the air, the chiller. I forget what the other question was. So yeah, anyways, so I recommend getting a CW 5000. My buddy on here, Ryan, he got his, he's happy with his, he ain't had a problem with it, because he was having to run his through a water pump that comes with the smaller machines. They come with a water pump, which is really just a water pump. It pumps water, it circulates water through whatever, a bucket of ice water or whatever you're using, it circulates the water. And then you can upgrade it to the, I think it's the 3000 or the 5000. I would just leave it as stock and go buy one elsewhere, save some money, and a headache in the long run. Because if you pay, I don't know how much the CW 3000 is for the upgrade on the smaller machines, but for the amount you're paying for that, you could get yourself a 5000 and not have to worry about it at all. So, like I said, I'm not knocking Boss. I personally, I'm kind of on the fence as far as what they're doing there. I know they upgraded the compressors finally from the old pancake Porter cable compressors to the California Air, which is an upgrade. Obviously, they're not going to get the Quiet Tech, even though they could probably get them at a cheaper price, because then you have to worry about shipping that huge compressor, which costs money. So I can understand kind of why they're probably not doing that. But if you have the option to not get a compressor, I would highly recommend not getting a compressor. Just get the cheapest or freest thing that they have and upgrade it yourself. Because, like I said, in the long run, it's going to save you time and money. Let's see what else. As far as changing the water in them, I'm just going to throw this side note in there. People come in here saying that they use filters and stuff like that. Now, I've been running my water for about 2 years, and I get what they're saying. I do see a little bit of a change in color in the water. But as far as changing them, yes, it is a good idea. You can do what you want. I haven't changed mine in almost 2 years. It's still clean. I don't see any contaminants, any particles, or anything like that. But I do see a little bit of discoloration, so it probably would benefit to change it. If you really wanted to be on top of maintenance with it, you'd change it probably every six months to a year, just depending. And that's running this thing hard. It's not, once in a while using it. I use it pretty much every day, for at least 4 to 6 hours a day, on average. So I mean, it gets the use out of it and everything. Water filter probably wouldn't be a bad idea, just in case, because it is a mechanical pump and it could put debris and metal and whatever else that's in there in the pump into the system. So that is very possible. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you could run the water indefinitely. That was I guess a poor choice of words. Indefinitely providing there's no signs of contamination or debris. And putting bleach and stuff in your water, not recommended, just because you're putting a chemical in a closed system that has high power, high heat laser beam basically passing through it, heating it up, and chlorine, when you heat it up, puts off a gas, and the gas inside there could potentially eat away at the gas or not the gas, but the glass or the tubing that's in your system or the pump itself. So if you're that concerned with it, I would not put chemicals in it. I would just change your water frequently. I just used bottled water, drinking water in mine. I recommend to use distilled water. You can boil your water, same thing, and put it in there however you want to do it. But anyways, the air system, that's the other question, the air system. Now seeing what the 14 series comes with, it's a little tiny fan, which in my experience, seeing it myself, I think is adequate because of the space and everything. With the lid closed, as you're supposed to do, everything closed up, lid closed, it pulls sufficient air to evacuate the cabinet of smoke and debris. With the lid up, it wasn't doing so much. I mean, it still was doing it, but you can start to smell like the smoke from the wood. So I mean, in that respect, I would say that it's sufficient. You can always upgrade. You can get I don't know what the stock one comes as far as CFM, but you can get I think I have a 400 CFM blower on mine. Maybe it's a little bit more. I'm not sure. It's an 8-inch blower with a 6-inch reducer for the tubing and stuff that comes out of the machine and out and exhausts outside. But yeah, Ryan, if you're listening, I don't know if you're in here or not. He just bought himself the Quiet Tech $259 at Lowe's, so it's on sale right now. Like I said, I got it for $239, so I mean it just varies. But right now, I guess it's on sale for $259 at Lowe's, and so you can save yourself a headache there and take care of that. Get you some good. Here, I'll show you what I got here. That's the setup I have right there. You could buy. You could buy more or less filters. I've found that this is sufficient to do what I need it to do, and I also bought the blue 6mm tubing to extend it to run to my machine from the regulator. The tubing is really cheap. You can buy. You can buy the 6mm adapter or the 6mm couplings to set up your system however you want. And if you're running a big system and you want to run continuous air, you want to control it from the regulator, you can also bypass your solenoid. I have that on a video. Should be on the Facebook page. The Laser Me This page, and it's on YouTube. I think it's labeled My Air System, or my I think it's My Air System or something like that, where I go in and show you like everything that I have and what I'm running and everything. But yeah, so the ventilation, going back to the ventilation, sorry I got sidetracked. Going back to the ventilation, you can do whatever you want. Like I said, I think it's sufficient for what they got. I don't like the blowers that come with the my 3655. It's a radial blower. but it's not sufficient, I would say. Um, it seems like it's a little small. I didn't use it, but just plugging it in and feeling the air that comes out of it and the suction that it has, I don't think it's quite as good as it should be. It might be sufficient to meet requirements for the specs that are on the machine. But for me, I like to run my door open a lot of times. So I like to have that extra CFM to pull any fumes or anything down away so they don't get out into the room. But as you can see behind me, where's it at? Anyways, this setup up here, it pulls, like when I have my blower on for the laser, it pulls air from my wood shop, which is on the other side of the door, through two filters, and that's where I get my relief air for the laser. That way I can keep dust and dirt out of here. It filters the air as it comes in to keep it from to coming in here and getting all over all the electronics and stuff that I have in here. So yeah, I think it's probably been a long, it's been about 20 minutes. I don't want to drag us on. If you have any questions or anything related to what I'm talking about, like I said, this is just my opinion. I know this is probably going to rub some people the wrong way, but I wanted to put it out there. That way, if you're buying a Boss laser, you know ahead of time kind of what to expect, and then you can use your best judgment to say, well, that'll work for me, or no, I don't want to do that. I want to get my own stuff or whatever. Because if I ever bought another laser from Boss, which I'm looking to get another one for a traveling shop or mobile shop, I looked at getting a Boss, talked to him about it, and wasn't happy with the results. So I'm probably going to end up going with a China laser. So I can get it for about a quarter of the price. If you know how to, once you've had a laser like these and you've worked on them and know how they work, getting a China laser or an actual China blue or something like that is not a bad way to go, just because they're all the same. All the components in this machine, except for the autofocus head, which I think is proprietary to Boss. Aside from that, your stepper motors are the same, your drivers are the same, your controller is the same, and a lot of them, not all of them. And they all use ArtWorks or LaserCAD. So I mean, it just depends on what you want to do. But for what I'm doing, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on a laser, because it's going to be in a trailer, it's going to be bouncing around, it's going to be going from show to show and doing things like that. So I don't want to spend a bunch of money, even though the warranty would be nice. I'm pretty sure Boss won't cover that. And I know how to work on them. I've built one before. I had a China blue machine before my Boss laser, but I couldn't pass it up with the financing, the tech support, the customer service, and it's local to me, which was another thing. They're only about 2 hours away from me, and it's easy to go down there. If you have a chance to go down to their showroom, I highly recommend it, because they now have available all of their cabinet machines, and they also have all their big machines now available to where you can go down there and see them. I believe their other warehouse is completely open, and they have their demo models for the bigger flatbeds and things like that. So if you're around Sanford, Florida, or not far away, and you got some time to spare, I'd call them up and schedule an appointment to go down there and see them. Again, this is not knocking Boss. I just wanted to let you guys know my opinion and kind of answer some questions that I saw floating around Facebook on several pages. So yeah. Anyways, so if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. I can be reached any way through Facebook. The shop up there is where you can get tools and stuff that I've made for the Boss laser. and then the link below is the tools and jigs, so you can kind of see what there is and how they work and everything. There's videos on there, and then of course Laser Me This, where I make videos based on questions, comments, concerns that people have with Boss or with Boss lasers or any other lasers or anything that I'm familiar with, like the FM, the fiber lasers as well. So if you have any questions or comments, hey Thomas, what's going on? I hope it's helpful for you and anybody else that's watching this at some point in time. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you have, if you're struggling with something, need some help with something, it's something that I could bring up on the page, please feel free to drop me a message. I will be glad to do what I can to address the concern. And that's software related with ArtieWorks, with CorelDRAW. I don't really work with Lightburn. I don't work with Lightburn very much, really at all. So I mean, other people might be able to chime in on that to help out with those concerns or questions. So don't feel bad about asking a question, because chances are there's somebody out there that's had the same question and just been afraid to ask it or hadn't had the time to ask it. If you dispute anything that I say, I'm open to the criticism, because you know, I'm just one person. It's my view. It's what I do. Someone else has a different way of doing it or a different suggestion, please feel free to bring it up. The more information people have in this community, the better. It's a growing community. It's a great community, and I want to do what I can to help people along the way. So again, Jason, JAR Custom Designs. I hope this video is informative and helpful, and if you have any questions in the future, again, I'll repeat myself over and over again, don't hesitate to ask, please, or bring it up. And hopefully we'll see you next time. This is a kind of unexpected video, but I wanted to address what I saw on the page, and I hope this helped. I hope everybody has a good rest of your Friday and a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next time. And as always, laser like a boss.